Lovecraft at the Movies, Episode 8, The Unnamable. So, yeah, out of all the H.P. Lovecraft stories, to get an adaptation, The Unnamable was one, and I find this to be baffling because there ain't a lot to the original story. I went into this wondering how they were going to turn it into a feature length film. Randolph Carter and a buddy hang out in a graveyard and have a friendly disagreement on describing things in a story as being indescribable. This is something that HPL gets called out a lot for. This was his way of addressing it, but it comes off as awkward and like he was using a self insert. This movie starts with a mystery. A man has imprisoned some sort of a creature. It seems that his wife has turned into this thing. Who or what is he talking to? What does this creature look like? The whole movie ends up hinging on this. We're waiting to see what this monster looks like. Is it going to be worth the wait? The problem is that the creature appears on the poster for the film, so the biggest draw ends up being spoiled. We then pick up on Randolph Carter and two friends hanging out in a graveyard by the house in question. One of them decides he's going to spend the night. This is done solely so he can be killed. There's this strange thing that happens where Randolph and his other friend go to the house to look for this guy, but simultaneously, completely separately, a group of preps go there to test it out to see if it would be a good place to haze new pledges at. And so it's clearly just a way of bringing in more victims for the monster. We've got these college students wandering around this old, creepy, rundown house, slowly getting picked off by this unseen monster. And when we finally do see the monster, it's actually pretty good. It's not the best, but I thought it was well done. The problem is that it is certainly not unnamable. I can very easily name what it is. It's a gargoyle, or maybe a demon. You could easily change the locale to an old castle and say, oh, this is a gargoyle brought to life, or a demoness that's been summoned from hell. I won't spoil the ending, but I thought that it was dumb and cheap. There's a lot of shaking tree branches around. It's stealing from a certain other horror movie, I think. This movie is kind of awkward. A lot of the dialogue feels like it was poorly translated from another language. Completely cute. Is that a thing people say? They say this a couple of times. He or she is completely cute. I've never heard anybody use that term before. A lot of the dialogue is delivered awkwardly. I'm not sure if it's the fault of the actors or if it's a Troll 2 type situation. Randolph Carter is exactly how I would imagine such a character to act and sound. The guy who played him did a very good job. There are long sections of the film that don't have any background music. It made me question if that's normal or not, and I just for some reason happened to notice it here. The thing that stuck out to me was just how inconsistent this whole film was. There will be long, mediocre sections, and then something cool will happen. You'll have a well shot part, you'll have a grisly kill, you'll get to see the monster put in good lighting, or you'll get some nudity. It's just kind of jarring against the rest of the film. The rest of the film being characters arguing, having little interpersonal dramas that really aren't very compelling, or they're wandering around the same looking rooms. Sometimes it will be too dark to see anything. In other places, it'll be well enough lit to pick out just the right details. All in all, I would say that this was a good film. I would recommend at least giving it a try if you're into horror. If you enjoy seeing Lovecraft stuff referenced in films, things like the Necronomicon or Miskatonic University, then you'll like this. But if you want a gory horror film, something like a slasher, then I suggest you look elsewhere.